Hello, welcome to our channel. We appreciate each and every one of you. We're just making sure the camera's on and it's not being clogged by some federal agency who doesn't want you to hear this, because you are not supposed to hear what we're about to say. It's forbidden most of the time, except, wait, we're still on the air. We've only been kicked off 9 times from YouTube. Actually, a lot more than that if you include the early days. Burn it all down. Burn the country down. Kill all the Americans and start over again. That's what David Hobbs just said with OMG Media. But more on that in a minute. This is brought to you by Get the Tea, daily cleanse I take because it helps my liver and kidney process food, my kidneys and liver lobes, and then it also has lactase in it, which helps dissolve the cheese that I eat or the milk that I drink. You see, 90% of Americans, between somewhere 70 to 90% of Americans can't digest A1 milk, which is what you get at the grocery store. Now, A2 milk is a little bit better, maybe 60% to 80%, but we can't digest the milk protein, so it clogs us up. So I use Daily Cleanse. It used to be called D365. Now it's Daily Cleanse, and boy, is that really effective. So be very careful, follow the instructions. Anyway, they just had a meeting. OMG Media got some videos that aren't allowed to be played, but of course, if you're not watched by the FBI and censored, you can play this video on YouTube. But we can't. So we'll just tell you what David Hobbs said. He says, Nancy Pelosi, you know, these people in Congress are the best traders in the world. They're better than any hedge fund traders in the world. They strike it right on. They get stock tips. Well, I get stock tips. If I open it, then child porn goes on my computer. So David Hobbs said that, you know, that's a fight we're not willing to take because we want to have gun control instead. In other words, we want to take all your guns away. So only the criminals have guns to distribute drugs. And then they said he said, it's so corrupt, we need to burn everything down. That's right. Destroy all the whites in America. This is David Hobbs, you know, who was actually about 20, and there was a high school shooting, and his daddy was there, and his daddy in the FBI was there before the school shooting, and he was there and claimed to be a high school student. He just transferred into that high school and was there just in time for the shooting as his daddy was conducting FBI drills at the shooting. And his daddy worked directly for Comey, who ran the SS. You know, Comey's daughter, SS, Holocaust, she's doing P. Diddy trial, who claims to be an FBI informant. So all those videos have been turned over to the FBI. You think any of them have been released? Not a one of them. No child molestations, no human ritualistic things, nothing. Epstein files erased by the FBI. Everybody knows that the FBI is the SS. Everybody knows that the Department of Justice is the Gestapo. Rosenstein's daddy ran the Gestapo. Comey's daddy ran the SS. The apple does not fall from the tree. Comey's daughter is trying all these people who are murdering people with human rituals. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Now, how does that tie in? I wasn't going to do a video, but when the assistant director of the Democratic National Committee said, burn it all down, burn down Congress, nuke D.C., nuke the whole country, kill all the whites, it's so corrupt. When somebody who runs the Democratic National Committee, the vice chairman, says that, it's time to stand up and take notice. Now, one of the things they've done is we went to Met Market. We bought 1/6 of a bag of groceries for $82. That means the groceries we bought are 100 times higher than the groceries we bought when I was 5 years old. And what did we buy? Oh, some Alares, some pork tenderloin 2 for $1, some Havarti cheese sandwiches, some green seedless grapes, a couple of cucumbers, 100 times more. And our insurance is $150 for roughly $160 for car insurance and $150 for homeowners insurance. It's going up to $300 and $300. That means our monthly payment will go up $300. You know, I know people who've had Social Security for 24 years and their Social Security amount has gone down because the amount Medicare charges has gone up. Oh, they say it's different, but Medicare is going down. How do you survive if your Social Security goes down 24 years in a row and your insurance costs triple? I mean, I went from $750, now we're at $3,000 for homeowners. I went from $50 a month for car insurance to $300 a month for car insurance. How do you survive? You don't. You're supposed to roll over and die. Get a clue. When the head of the DNC, the vice chairman, says, burn it all down, it means you're to die. Give the Social Security to a foreigner. Give my friend's mom and dad $8,000 and $8,000 a month. Screw the older retired people who put money into it. Even Trump's in office and he hasn't changed that. Forget United States Code. We have sanctuary cities. 35 states have sanctuary cities or counties in them. The governors have taken no action under United States Code 18. Those 35 governors need to be arrested. Let's just screw the United States Code. Let's throw out the Constitution. Screw the law. We'll just take their money away. That's not what the law says. It says arrest them. But like Hobbes said, burn it all down. Just burn it all down. Unbelievable evil coming from the Rhino Republicans and the DNC. Now, the Lucifer Trust illuminated something. As Uranus goes into Gemini, we'll have 300 years of WAR. And as of the 12th of May, the full moon in Taurus, that's when the WARs accelerate. That was right after the peace parade. Ukraine has fired over 2,000 drones using U.S. satellites as targeting systems. Using Trump's satellite system as targeting systems. Granted, the sunspots are knocking the satellites out of the sky, but they're sending more up. And they're using rockets to do it. Not our anti-gravity propulsion systems. That's beyond insanity. We're still using Apollo rockets, which were designed 105 years ago. Good God, what kind of stupidity is that? Oh, Elon Musk sending in space. We've got spacecraft that have been in space. We have starships. What are we doing with rockets? Why are we building the F-57 or the F-27 or the X-139 or whatever we're building when we've had that triangular spacecraft out of Edwards Air Force Base for over 25 years. It's really funny when the triangular has 3 engines. When it goes cattywampus, it goes me. We've had the X-33 and the X-44 and the X-55 cloaked anti-gravity propulsion systems. What are we doing with jet fuel use? We're screwing around is what we're doing. We're destroying planet Earth. The Ford Nucleon was built in 1960. In the 60s, the water-powered motor was the P-51 aircraft. In World War II, look it up, the V-12 Merlin. What are we doing with gas-powered motors? It's all about destroying the planet. Burn it all down, destroy planet Earth. Now, the Lucifer Trust had a lot to say about that. They said as of the 12th of May, the astral plane creatures will start coming into our plane of existence. Mo and mo and mo. And we will bow to Lucifer's minions. Lucifer being God, Sanat Kumara being the god of the earth, the Buddha being the god of enlightenment, means take drugs and do out-of-body experiences, and Jesus being the god of love, Sanat Kumara, the god of the earth, works directly for Lucifer, who's the god of the world. And he uses the planet Venus, which apparently, according to Plato, flew into our galaxy. It didn't used to exist. And he uses the planet of Vulcan, which exists in the astral plane. We have 69 planets in our plane of existence, the astral plane and the upper astral plane. And in the astral plane, the planet of Vulcan is the planet of souls. That's where the demons come from. They go from there through Saturn and Jupiter and then to planet Earth. This is all from the Lucifer Trust. And they keep talking about the 300 years of war. Remember the time machine? This is the 312. He spun the rings. This is the 312th year of the war between the East and the West. Why it started, no one knows, but the last facility producing oxygen was destroyed, and some of us will take our chances above the ground, and some of us will take our chances below the ground. That's what they want, total obliteration of the planet Earth, so the demons can inhabit the planet Earth. It's called the sixth root race. Humans with demons in them. They're doing that in Baja, Mexico. They're allowing it. Why do you think it's so corrupt down there? The drugs, because they allow the Lucifer Trust and the demons down there. The Lucifer Trust headquarters is in Boston. Why do you think it's so dang corrupt? Anyway, so we just had Easter on the 20th of April, which is bizarre because both the East and the West popes, the Russian Pope and the Roman Pope, the St. Petersburg Pope, and the Roman Pope had Easter on the same day, which I don't think has ever happened in 1,000 years. And then I just don't know. And then there's the world. Let's see. There's the Easter, the Wesak festival, where Buddha appears for 1 minute in the plains somewhere in India, and then we have the World Invocation Day, 14 June. Between the 12th of April, the 12th of May, or let's see, the 20th of April, the 12th of May, and the 14th of June, they're going to start WW3. Now, how's it going to start? It's simple. The United States uses our satellites to target Moscow. The German missiles have been transferred to the Ukraine. They're going to fire the missiles into Moscow. Moscow's going to return and fire the missiles at the missile production facility in Berlin. And WW3 is on. That's the sequence of events. Lucifer Trust talks about that. We need to clean the planet Earth. We need to send you all to the astral plane. We must have one planet and one desire. And once humanity is obliterated, we can bring the Christ back. Lucifer Trust is in the United Nations headquarters. They give the broadcast from the UN headquarters. This is the UN speaking, the head of the UN. Germany will give Ukraine missiles. They'll fire at Moscow. Moscow will fire at Berlin. And WW3 is on. So all of Europe is recruiting military-age men right now. The draft is on, baby. They want WW3. And so one world, one desire, one human left, I guess, is what they're talking about. So, and the planet of Venus will try to stop it, and Vulcan will make it happen. We must have one mind. 300 years of conflict. The germs have been planted. The national flags must be torn down. The nations must be torn down. We must have one world with one train of thought. We must all think the same. We'll all be chipped, and we will think the same. The external hierarchy, the demons, who live in Shambhala, which is an astral plane city over Mongolia, will then start to flood into the earth as of the 25th of April, 12th of May, and then the 14th of June. Now, the 12th of May happens to be a full moon, which is when the Ukraine started another offensive on Moscow. So, right on the Russians. So they may wait, the Russians may wait until the next Ukrainian offensive is at the full moon, I think, which is the 12th. 11th of June is the full moon. I think it's the 12th in Moscow. The Ukrainian U.S.-backed forces will have another offensive, fire missiles at Moscow, and then as soon as they're exhausted, Moscow may launch all heck breaking loose across Europe. And Trump will say, "What happened?" Well, I'll tell you what happened. You never did what God asked you to do. You threw the United States Code in the toilet. You threw the 1789 Constitution in the toilet. And you threw the 1871 Constitution in the toilet. For the last 4 years you were in presidency, and now for these 4 years you've thrown United States Code 18 in the toilet. You haven't listened to God, and so this can occur. Until you pick up the phone and do what God asks you to do, this can occur. Anyway, so that's what we want to talk about, is the fact that the United Nations, the Lucifer Trust, the Democratic National Committee, and the Rhino Republicans are all on the same sheet of music. Kill all humans. Start a war with Russia, says Lindsey Graham. Nuke Russia, says Lindsey Graham. Little freak. He really is a demon-possessed freak. Put me in a room in here with a camera. A little freak, I'll neutralize the demons in the name of Yeshua. But remember, Lucifer is the god of Yeshua. Right. Sure, anything you say, Lucifer. Kiss my royal rear. By the way, if you come to the Puget Sound, I wore this to let you know. Take the tour of the San Juan Islands. They're beautiful. We have a lot of people visiting. I always send them to the ferry to take a tour. Anyway, God bless. Thank you very much. Now you know who's going to start it and why it's going to start. They're all ignoring God. They're all telling God to kiss my rear. And guess what? They're going to be the primary targets. Watch your back, Trump, in the next 24 hours. because the FBI wants you gone. The SS wants you gone. They've been ordered by the Department of Justice. Pam Bondi's doing nothing. God bless. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. Now you know why the FBI hates me so much. Because we expose them. They should be exposed. They want to kill Trump. God bless. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow.